Hi guys, my name's Lucy. I'm a professional tropical astrologer, and today I'm going to talk about the transit Venus in Virgo. Venus has just entered Virgo September 5th, and it will stay in Virgo until the end of the month, until September 29th. So first I'll discuss what this means in general, as well as what does this mean for you based on your rising sign. And of course I have my detailed updates on Patreon. I'll put the link below if you are interested in checking out what I offer there. So Venus entering Virgo. So when Venus enters Virgo, it's coming from Leo, so it's coming from a fire sign, and it's entering an earth sign. So love becomes a bit more practical. Virgo shows love through acts of service, things like cooking a meal for your partner, doing an errand for a friend who needs it, who's super busy, helping somebody with their business, or anything that's really helping somebody, being of service to somebody. So it's a great time to show your love through these, acts of service. It's also important to check in with your relationships and think about in what relationships maybe are you doing too much serving? Are you, constantly putting the effort in and you're not getting in return? As well as maybe there's some places that you aren't stepping up in that way. So check in and see, what relationships are you serving too much maybe, and what relationships are people serving you and you aren't really returning that favor. So it's a good time to, check in with your relationships in this way. Virgo is also, focused on health and wellness. So it's a great time for you and your partner, or you and your best friend, you and your roommate, whoever, it may be. It's a good time for you to do something with somebody regarding health. So start cooking healthy meals with somebody, start going on walks in the morning, start going to the gym, start attending a yoga class, start meditation together. Something like that. It's a great time to do that this month. The other thing I'll mention about this is that Venus represents like beauty and art. So oftentimes when it switches signs, we kind of see a shift in makeup and clothes styles. So you might be more interested in checking out some like clean, polished, earthy type of looks, if that makes sense. In terms of makeup, you might want to be playing around with like more neutral colors, or trying out clean makeup. Like this is going to be more coming to people's attention. Same with clothing styles. So yeah, this is generally what's going on. We also have Mercury retrograde starting very soon. So Mercury retrograde is going to kind of make things, a bit more challenging. There'll be some delays depending on where that's happening in your chart. You'll experience it in different ways. So what that means for Venus and Virgo is that we may be kind of in our heads a little bit more. So it may not be a super great time for us to want to run out there and start dating, because we're kind of working through a lot of stuff in our head right now. Specific rising signs are going to see more action in their romantic life, and I will let you know which ones those are in a minute. But just keep that in mind. The energy is going to be a bit off with Mercury retrograde this month as well. So it might be a really good time, like I said, to check in with your relationships, check on the health of your relationships, and see like which ones are serving you, which ones aren't, what do you need to change. So that's what I'm thinking for this month. All right, now let's jump into what this means for each rising sign. And I'll say generally, if you have Virgo placements, especially Virgo Sun, Virgo Rising, and Virgo Venus, this is going to be a time for you, there's going to be maybe more love in your life. The energy of Venus is going to be felt strongly for you this next month. So let's start with, we'll start with Aries rising. So Aries rising, and I use whole sign when I'm doing these general predictions, which whole sign is a method of breaking up a chart, which basically means each house is broken up equally, starting with your rising sign. And it's a good way to do prediction for large groups. I will say I use Plastis usually, although I use whole sign as well, but I use Placidus, which I feel is a bit more specific, and I'll do that for my Patreon members. So if you are interested in the most specific to you readings each month, check out my Patreon. I'll link it below. But generally, we have Aries rising. You're going to have Venus transiting your 6th house. Venus doesn't feel super great here. I'll say Venus can feel a bit conflicting. What's going to happen is you're going to find more beauty and more beauty in your daily life. It's a good time for you to, wherever your workspace is, if you're in the office or at home, take a minute to organize it, make it look more beautiful, make it feel good for you. Your relationships with your coworkers and people you work with is going to be going more smoothly as well. And it's a good time, you might be more interested in kind of like spending a bit more time on your skincare, your makeup, your hair, and your beauty in your daily life. Okay, Taurus rising. This, for you, is going to be a fun transit. Venus will be transiting your 5th house. You're going to be feeling like letting yourself have fun, and you might not be as interested in working. It's more about exploring what brings you joy. You are one of the ones that maybe just feeling more romantic. You might have, you might be meeting a new love interest. You could be spending more romantic time with your partner. But what the important thing here is you're following your heart. You're following what feels good for you. So if you're not interested in dating right now, if that's not what's feeling right for you right now, that's not something you need to focus on. This month is about focusing on what you love, what brings you joy, and what are you passionate about, especially creative passions. So check that out. Work on, maybe if you're an artist, if you're into music, work on developing those sides of yourself right now. Gemini rising, this is going to bring Venus to your 4th house, so you're going to experience peace and harmony in your home environment. It's a good time to redecorate. Like I said before, for Aries rising, that was a good time for them to organize and redecorate their work environment. It's a good time for you to do it for your home environment. So decorate your living space with what you love, what you find beautiful. Sometimes you can be a little bit overindulgent, so you don't overindulge on too much stuff for your house, but it is a good time to do changes that make you feel more peace in your living space. Cancer rising. This is going to bring Venus to your 3rd house, so you're going to see your environment more, in a more beautiful way. Your relationship with your neighbors and your coworkers and your siblings could go more smoothly at this time. And your communication style is going to be more charming, so more people are going to be drawn to listening to you at this time. So it's a good time to really share your thoughts if you want to. Although Mercury will be in retrograde for most of this time as well, so you may not feel like doing that as much, but it is a really good time to just bring that beauty into your daily life, into your interactions with people. It's not like we're all going to be hiding in our rooms during Mercury retrograde. Life still goes on. And so it's going to be time for you to, share your thoughts, especially if they are related to creative pursuits. Okay, Leo risings. This is going to be beneficial to you financially because this transit will bring Venus to your 2nd house. So financial opportunities could come up. It's a good time to, especially on things related to art and beauty. This can cause you to overspend sometimes, so be aware of this, but it tends to be beneficial. So it's a good time to maybe, if you have been saving up for something, maybe it's a good time to purchase it. And then Virgo risings. This for you, you're going to have Venus in your 1st house. So this is another good time. You're going to come off as more beautiful, more charming to the rest of the world. So it's a possible that you will meet somebody, or if you are in a relationship, you'll just be feeling more romantic and more loving. It's, a good time to maybe switch up your makeup looks, switch up your style a bit as well. Okay. So now let's go to Libra risings. Excuse me. So I just painted my nails. They caught my attention. Also, do you guys like my new little thing? Actually, it's not new. I had this last year, but when I moved last year, I never unpacked it for some reason. I found it in one of my boxes. Ruled by the moon, that's me. Okay, so Libra risings. So we have Venus transiting your 12th house. So the 12th house is an internal house. So you're going to be feeling like, reflecting on your relationships, maybe any artistic creative pursuits that you have, all those Venus related things. You're going to be reflecting. You're going to feel a bit more private. Sometimes with Venus in the 12th, you might start a secret or hidden relationship in some way. Not always, but sometimes. And also your connection to the spiritual world is going to be stronger. So it's a good time for meditation and for connecting with your subconscious, your higher self. Scorpio risings. The Venus, although I literally like to think of the planets as like characters in my life, like they really are. So Venus in the 11th house for Scorpio rising. This tends to be a positive one for your friends and for your social connections and any groups you're part of. So it's a good time to get together with friends, share your ideas, especially with Venus type activities like going to a concert, going to try new food, going to enjoy some artwork. So it's a good time to like do a little treat yourself day with your friends. It's also like the 11th house represents technology, so it could be a good time for you to really post on social media if you are interested in building a following. Okay, Sagittarius rising, Venus will be transiting your 10th house. The 10th house is the house of career, your public image. So this is a good time for you in your career. Your superiors at work will notice you more in a positive way. Usually, I mean, it also depends on the aspects you have to Venus, but generally, can be a good time for you at work. There's a possibility that maybe you even start a relationship with somebody older than you, or coworker or something at this time. Not always, but there's a possibility with Venus in the 10th. You could see more money coming in from a business, something that you're putting out to the world. It's going to be, it's going to be beneficial at this time to put things out, or something you've already put out may start getting more attention. Capricorn rising, Venus will be transiting your 9th house. So the 9th house is like those big picture ideas. So this is a good time for you to see the world more optimistically. You're going to be interested in like learning about maybe like big, so Venus represents like art, music, things like that. So you might be interested in like big picture ideas related to like artwork for a certain culture maybe, or music, a new band you've never heard of. Like you're going to be interested in learning about this type of thing. This is also a good time it usually is a really good time to take a trip or something when Venus is in the 9th, although I will warn you that with Mercury retrograde this month there can be delays in travel. But you might already have a trip planned. Sometimes it lines up like that with Venus in the 9th, and so it's a great time for you to explore something new. Even if you experience travel delays with Mercury retrograde, it's really a great time for you to get out there and explore and meet new people, experience different types of food, different art, stuff like that. Aquarius rising, Venus will be in your 8th house. The 8th house, whoa, I don't know why I just said that so fast. The 8th house is also an internal house, like the 12th house. So this is, you're probably going to be feeling a bit more reflective. You're going to be reflecting on your intimate relationships. It's a good time for you to possibly attract money through a partner or through an investment or something like that. If you do start a new relationship at this time, it's likely going to be very intense. The 8th house is very intense. It represents like intimacy and intimate relationships. So it's just a really good time for you to reflect on your relationships and how you feeling about, Venus represents love and romance and things like that. So are you maybe holding yourself back in certain ways? What do you need to heal within yourself to make yourself ready for this type of close, intimate relationship? Or if you're currently in a relationship, what do you need to work on to make yourself even more open to your partner? And then lastly, Pisces rising, Venus will be transiting your 7th house. So this is usually a positive time for your relationships, your friendships, your business partnerships. You're able to understand and compromise with the needs of other people more easily. It's a good time to talk things out, talk things through with somebody, although Mercury retrograde is going to be going on very soon. So it might be harder for you to find the words right now, but nevertheless, you're going to be feeling more open and more willing to compromise. You are one of the ones that could have a new love interest pop up. You could meet somebody, you could take your relationship to the next level. So I hope that gave you guys a good idea of what to expect while Venus is in Virgo. I have more information on my Patreon if you are interested in personalized transit updates, and I also sell my, chart readings. I have a bunch of different types, and I'll link that down below too. It's all through my website. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and definitely subscribe for more astrology updates and astrology related content.